Welcome back again to the Music Box, episode 4. And I'm officially back after a 2-week break. And it's just me this time. There's not really any special guests compared to the previous episode. And it's just gonna go how it usually goes: subtopic, break song, and then it repeats until like the 5th subtopic. So it's gonna be a little mixed bag, I should say, because I couldn't really find anything that could like match up with each other. So let's start with music making apps, or DAWs as they're actually called. And just an FYI for people that don't know, DAW means digital audio workstation, which is basically just like a digital workstation where you can like put like audio and such, like edit audio, make music and such, like that sort. And I'm gonna talk about a few. Some of them, like Audacity and such, will probably be for another one, for another episode, I should say. Let's start with FL Studio, or as it's actually called, Fruity Loops Studio. So FL Studio was like the main software I use for my music creation. Like, I started using it back in like 2022 with my first song being Insanity, because I really like the plugin. It's called Surge XT, and the like preset that was used for that plugin was like some sort, like it simulated an electric guitar, and it was really good. I really liked how it sounded, so I decided to make a song based off of that plugin, and it was Insanity. But anyways, so I started using it in 2022, and I use it currently, and it's probably one of the most like easiest like music making apps, or DAWs I should say, because even though if you first open it up, if you use FL Studio for the first time, it looks really complex. When you get to learn about it, some of the stuff that are on there, you really don't use a lot. Like, you can use them sometimes for like if you really want to like use that like, I guess, effect, like let's just say a compressor or a delay plugin, then you could use that. And if you and all the other plugins, then I mean, you can't use them if you really don't want to use them, then I mean, yeah. But many artists I know that I've listened to use FL Studio for music making. Porter Robinson, of course. And I shouldn't say of course, actually, because I don't think anyone really knows that. Porter Robinson, Soulja Boy, Madeon, and I believe that's all I can remember. But yeah, so FL Studio has a demo version. It's like a free version of FL Studio, but it's literally just FL Studio, like a full version of FL Studio. Like, everything is like unlocked for you and everything. The only thing you can't do though, you can't save it. You can't save your projects, which I find really weird. I don't know why it does that. It's just super odd. It's just, I don't know, because beforehand, when I made my music, I usually would just make a folder and call it like I think sample pack, yeah. And then I would save the individual chord progressions I made using plugins. I had to mute the effects, and then I would save that. I would consolidate it, which is basically just saving the segment, which is basically just saving the selected chord progression, and it would just make a specific thing. I wouldn't have to like do it, but I could literally just like export it anyways without like doing all that. But I guess consolidating is the thing. But so actually I should say consolidating, it like only saves a specific part of your song you highlighted, and then you could use that as like, I guess, like a sample or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, no, like, so that's what I had to do. I had to save every specific thing. That's what I had to do with like nourishment, time, feel it, and I believe that's it. That's like those are like the most like recent songs that I've put on streaming platforms. But there's a lot more that I remember. There's a lot more from that I remember. Pardon. So yeah, no, the demo version you cannot save it. I don't know why it does that. Like it's really weird. It's everything else is open. Like everything else, you can literally import new like plugins that you've downloaded from websites or bought, and then you can put them in there. Like that, you could do that too. And but you can't save it for whatever reason. You actually you can't save it. I mean, you can save it, but you can't open it back up. Like it's stuck on there until you get like the full version of FL Studio. It's really it's just strange. It's weird. But yeah, so let's move to Ableton Live. So Ableton Live, I never used it before. It looks super complex compared to FL Studio, but that's because I've never used it. There's also a demo version for that, but it's like a 30-day one, like a usual like 30-day like Ableton Live demo version you can like get until like the 30 days are up, and then you get the pop-up that says, oh, if you want to continue, then buy the full version, because FL Studio is like has an unlimited demo. Like it's like unlimited. You have like no time limit. It's like super. It's strange. But back to Ableton Live. So Ableton Live, many more professional musicians use it. Like I guess electronic, because that's the main genre I used to. Like Skrillex, Daft Punk, and I think Justice uses it. But Daft Punk actually used Ableton Live while they were performing their 2007, I mean their iconic live show Alive 2007. They used Ableton Live for that. I think they used like 2 laptops for that, as well as like some like other things like an audio deck and like a I guess like an effects board that can like make it look all like high pass and low pass and whatever, like a and yeah. But Alive 2007 was used by Daft Punk. Ableton Live was used by Daft Punk in Alive 2007. I think from what I remember looking at an article, they used 2 laptops with Ableton Live, or they called it like supercomputers, and then they had like the pyramid stage, a bunch of like audio stuff, and then themselves, which I mean is fine. I mean everyone has their perks, so I mean I don't know, but yeah. So finally let's go to BandLab. So BandLab, I used to use BandLab a lot back from like 2021 to 2022, because BandLab was super easy to use. Like if you know how to like do music theory and such, it's like super easy. Even if you don't know it, there's like loops and such like you could do. Like you could just grab a loop, put it in the thing in the workstation, I guess, because BandLab is like a mix of a DAW and a social platform. Like you can upload the music you finished creating in BandLab, and then you get like likes, like you get like reactions from people and such. And yeah, I've used it a lot, like during my time in like 2021 to 2022. I've used it to make my 3 albums, my first 3 albums, 2028, Roaring 30s, and Fizzy Soda. But yeah, I hate how it looks now, because like for whatever reason back then, beforehand, it was really, it's like I forgot my words, I apologize, but it's like it used to be like almost all free, but now there's a bunch of memberships and such, which is, I find it really, it's just the downfall of the BandLab needs to be studied, to be honest, because it's like really weird. Like it's still usable, it's just that memberships are a thing. Like you can't like, because for whatever reason there's an option for you to like enhance your audio or whatever. You can enhance it. There's like different options to enhance it, and most of them are locked behind a premium membership. Like I don't want to pay for something that can like make my audio sound more bassy. Like that's stupid. Why do I need to do that? And there's a lot more other things that that are on the membership. I just don't really look into since I don't pay for memberships. They're stupid or they're like they're unnecessary. But it BandLab has a lot of loops that are available to do. Like you can put in there's like a bunch of varieties of different loops. There's the genres rock, pop, hip hop, electronic, probably classical, but there probably isn't classical. I'm probably just like making up genres that probably have like that don't have loops. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. I back from like 2020, I mean from 2028 to Fizzy Soda, I used loops. It was very quick to do. It was just simple. I didn't have to like really make any because I didn't know music theory back then. I just made music for fun. But now since I'm getting a lot more serious, I now know I'm starting to learn about music theory. Like I'm starting to actually learn chord progressions and piano and everything and all that jazz. But yeah, so let's go to a song that use a digital audio workstation or use GarageBand. I will talk about GarageBand in another episode, but let's go to Genesis by Justice. And we're back. Um, so let me ask this: what y'all know about LimeWire and Napster? I feel like some people like born in the '90s and 2000s know what LimeWire and Napster are, because back then they used to be like the number one the number one software for people to like grab and pirate music like without having to like buy a CD and such. Because I wasn't around during that time. I mean, I was born in like the 2000s and such, but I've never experienced LimeWire or Napster. But I should actually say I feel like people born in the 80s and 90s know more about LimeWire and Napster than like people like born in the 2000s and 2010s, because they were born around that era and such, and which is understandable. But yeah, no. So LimeWire was basically let's start with LimeWire. So LimeWire actually was a music pirating thing. Like it was an audio sharing thing, but a bunch of people like put like a bunch of like music from other artists, which caused them to get sued by the music by a bunch of music companies. Which I mean the company didn't have no I mean actually they did have control over it, because they were literally an audio sharing company. But they didn't have any control on like people like uploading like pirated songs from like CDs and such. Like, and LimeWire was basically a virus for people's computers. Like, it affected their computer, gave them a bunch of like pop-ups and such, like be like free coupon, like free software, free guitar, whatever it is. But LimeWire, I don't know. I mean, I think that's where they got the LiveWire, the I guess the Mountain Dew flavor. I assume that, or I think it might be an electric like term. But yeah, no. Now moving on to Napster. So Napster still exists, but it's like I mean, Napster existed with the same thing that LimeWire did. It was basically like an audio sharing platform, and that also got the same type of like thing like LimeWire did. People uploaded pirated music, and they got sued too by the music industry. Um, but Napster still exists as a streaming service, because you could still go on and get music and such. Like because usually when I upload my music, I use Route Note, and one of the options is to upload to Napster. So that's really interesting that Napster still exists. I thought I would get the same like treatment as like LimeWire would, because LimeWire became an NFT music platform. Which, first of all, ew, and second off, why? I think a company had to like bought the name and made it into like make it into NFTs. And why do NFTs exist? I can literally just double right click and download their image. Why do we need to pay to download it? Like I could just download it for free. But no. So Napster, I don't know. I've never used Napster before. It was under the same category as LimeWire. Most people, like 90s kids and such, know about LimeWire and Napster. But I don't think it's really talked about nowadays, until somehow like they really say, "Hey guys, we're bringing back this this software." But otherwise, it's not. It's just now obscure. It's now just like not a thing as much as like all the other like stuff. Like I don't think anyone uses Napster as a streaming like a to go like to go I mean go to streaming platform. Like I don't think anyone I know says, "Hey, look at this cool song I found on Napster." Like I don't think anyone does that now. So and it's more I would hear in like the 2000s. But yeah. So if we're talking 2000s here and such, um if we're talking 2000s here, let's talk I guess uh punk rock emo bands, and let's go to Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Um, and so we're gonna we're gonna move. There's not really much of a transition for this. DJs. Let's move to that. So DJs are pretty much everywhere. If you look, if you're like at like a party, a like at like a family function or a family reunion and such, like it's literally you just press play and then it just and you just press play, wait for the next song to come up, and then it just plays that song. It's literally just that, but there's like different techniques you can do. But anyway, so many electronic musicians actually are DJs. Like they used to be DJs until they moved on to create their own music. There was Daft Punk, Justice, Porter Robinson, TSO, Avicii, and I think Stephen Aoki. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. But yeah, many electronic musicians have are like DJs and such. Like that's how most of it. And yeah, and like I said before, like DJs are everywhere. Like you could just press play and such. But so basically, anyone can literally become a DJ if they know what they're doing. Like you just play a song, and then after a few minutes, after like the song ends, and then you play another song. Like you just grab your phone, make a playlist, press play the first song, and then it just goes next. Like it's that simple. But if you want to become like a professional, then you're gonna have to learn a whole like ton of techniques, like a whole lot of techniques. There's the like regular way. You just try to do a cool transition, like you change the tempo and such, and then after that song plays, you change the tempo back. If it's increased or decreased, you change it back to its regular tempo, and then that's about it. Because I do DJing, but only for like I've only done DJing like at like family like trips. Like I've done them like when my dad's side family goes like camping, I do that. I make a little playlist because I literally have nothing else to do in camping. Like I don't really because I don't and to be honest, when I'm going camping, I don't really do much like hiking and such because the campsite we went to had like a water park and such. Like it was nearby and it was like a pool and water park. It was like a pool. And so that's where I would usually go. Like that's where I would go. I didn't really go anywhere else. I usually either sat in my cabin, went outside by the fire with my family and chatted with them, or I just like went to the pool and just like either got snacks. But yeah, so speaking of which, let's go to Fresh by Daft Punk. We're back yet again. So while we're on topic, this song contains a sample, and this is one of the subtopics too, sampling. And so the song you just heard, "Fresh" by Daft Punk, contains a sample from in which is basically the whole like sample throughout is "If You Leave Me Now" by Viola Willis. Or Wills, I should actually say. But yeah. So sampling is a large variety of like stuff that you can do with it. So sampling spawned a bunch of genres. The first one being the hip hop or rap genre, because the hip hop genre actually started out with like some samples. It started in 1973, and I think it's like 51 out as of today, and yeah, the merry-go-round technique was the first, I should say, the first like ever rap song like that was mainstream and a DJ did, in which sampled soul samples, like soul songs, and it basically was a James Brown song, and then it transitioned to a some sort of bongo band. It was called Bongo Rock. I just don't know what the band name is called. But yeah, that's basically how like the rap genre started. Like it started out with like two samples, and then it morphed into Rapper's Delight, and then it morphed into a lot other stuff, like more like it expanded to like more of like lyrical stuff, like a bunch of different subgenres. But I talked about that genre in episode 2. But continuing on, there are a lot of techniques of sampling. There's chopping, looping, reversing the sample, I mean, distorting it, and like screwing with it, like just messing around with it, like just completely like making it different, like your own. Like there's also like pitching it up, pitching it down, and such, like whatever. But there's a sample based album out there. Well, Avalanches, actually a lot of them. There's the Avalanches album, Since I Left You, which uses a lot of samples using from like junk vinyls. And then J Dilla's Donuts from like 2006, which is actually turning 19 this year, which I think it actually is 19 now. Yeah. It's actually 19 years old as of today, which is actually crazy. But yeah, no, J Dilla's Donuts uses a lot of like bunch of samples, like I think like mainly like 70s or something like that. And J Dilla's Donuts was made before, like when J Dilla was in the hospital, and it was like I think 98% like finished until his death. So I believe like a few others like finished some of it, which I mean it's still one of the greatest like sample based hip hop albums of like all time. But I actually do have a few unreleased songs that I made that I have saved in my computer, but I will never release them due to having sampled songs that that would get me get taken down immediately, because I believe I have some songs that I sampled unreleased songs, and then yeah, I do have a beat. I wish I could show it, but I do remember I used this sample a lot. It was a guitar piece from a song that I collabed with, and then I just reversed it, like slowed it down, chopped it up and everything, and I just made a whole new piece. I made like a lot of versions with that, but that's for another story or something else. But yeah, no, I made I believe I actually would say two of them got released, and which was both of them were, it was Windows 7 Professional, SP12 times 64-bit, and then Windows Vista Professional SP32 X32-bit. And the first one has lyrics and the other one doesn't. It's literally just the same instrumental. For the first one was just the instrumental from the second one, but I just added lyrics to it because I initially was going to include lyrics, but but because of the prompt I got, which was on FABA 3, I got instrumental only, so I couldn't. So I was kind of bummed out by that, but I mean, I did it anyways without it. So yeah, Porter Robinson has a one single sample based song from Nurture, which is Musician, which he sampled an unreleased collab he did with Caro Bonito, which and then he like pitched it up and then chopped it up and he put it on Musician, as well as like the Think break or the Lynn Collins Think About It break, and that's about it. And yeah, no, I sampling is one of the most like intuitive things that has ever come out for a song. Like I made a blog in English class which we had to do for a grade, and which I based it around sampling basically. And I'm sorry, Miss Nelson, I have not done a blog. I probably will do one maybe. I'm not sure though, but I actually will. I need to because I feel like I need to. That'll probably help with getting better in there. But anyways, yeah, no. Continuing on, sampling has its ups and downs. Like it's either probably the worst thing you can do for your song or it's the best thing you can do with your song. Like if you just take a piece of a song that's like popular and such and just pitch it up and then put like a like just a bunch of drums and stuff without adding like anything new to it, then it's just a bit stupid. But I mean, if it's like if it's done correctly, you can make the song sound really good and it'll make it like one of your best pieces of work ever. But if you do something completely dumb and it just sounds like it was just a wasted opportunity, then yeah, no, it's no. Back of the line, in the garbage you go, in recycling or whatever. But yeah, no. Kendrick Lamar done it before. He did like a Jay Dilla type technique, which he just chopped up micro samples and just made a song, like just connected them together to make a new type song, and which he did with Duckworth, and Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, and I think the most sampled song, I believe it's the Amen break and the Think About It break, because because the drum break it's been used in a lot of songs. I talked about it before, but I'm gonna say it again. It's in songs such as Cheerleader by Porter Robinson, Straight Outta Compton, a bunch of drum and bass songs, or jungle as they call it as well. And then like uh and it also was in a few pop songs that I can remember. But yeah. Um let's go to a song that Jay Dilla used. It's Anti-American Graffiti by him, and let's go to that. back again. This will be the final time. So let's talk song demos because I feel like that's also an important topic I could talk about. So song demos basically they're a bare boned version of a track that's like the final version of the track. Like it's usually used to show the label what you're capable of to be signed to them. Like a bunch of like writers done like mixtapes or song demos to submit to their label so they can actually make music, which that's a really important if you want to get big in the music industry. Of course, if you want to sign to a label, but some people, if they do independent labels, they could still get famous. It's just that you have to find the right people, and it just has to be like all that. It takes a while, but it's fine. So Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered, actually was actually a bunch of demos. Yeah. A bunch of demos from when he was creating To Pimp a Butterfly, and the only reason why Untitled Unmastered got released is because LeBron James asked him. Like they asked him if he could like release the demos all together, and Kendrick Lamar just released them. But some demo tracks can be featured on like special editions of the albums, like 5th anniversary, 10th anniversary, like all that, and sometimes maybe deluxe albums if people are really wanting to include, if artists are really wanting to include that. But and continuing with that, demo tracks can also sometimes get leaked on the internet. I don't know what demo tracks get leaked, but it can happen. Like it happens with a bunch of songs on like albums and such. Like even an entire album can get leaked. That's bad. I'd rather not any of my new albums that I'm developing like get leaked because I would just have a rant on Twitter about that. But continuing on, there's another version of demo tracks that could be used. They're called reference tracks, and reference tracks are basically what you use to like to give to like featured artists that you ask them if they want to be featured on your song. You give them like what they want, how it's like the vocal should sound on the track itself, which is actually really necessary, which I feel like anyone that makes music can agree. Like if you want to like have a feature on your album, I feel like you need to like make a little reference track of you like doing the vocals for that feature so that you can like get them to do, so they know what they're doing basically. And on the topic of that, some demo tracks can also be reused in like final tracks, in like different tracks as like a sample and such. Because this happened with in Travis Scott's Modern Jam, and with also God's Country, on Travis Scott's album Utopia. Modern Jam uses the same drums that were in a demo version that he produced on Kanye's I Am a God, and I'm not sure, but yeah, no, I recognized it immediately because because there was an evolution of I Am a God video on YouTube, and I listened to it, and when I listened to Modern Jam, I was like, oh, there's the drums, because he only used the drums, he didn't use any other tracks, any of the other like parts of the track, because I feel like that would be just, I don't know. I mean, it's his track, so I mean, and he produced both of those tracks, so I mean, he can do what he wants with it. But I do have right there on the table right there, I have a demo CD that I made. I have demo CD I made here, for my upcoming album that I'm currently working on, and I've been working on for like since last year. It's a demo CD. It has like 4 tracks on it. Hopefully that can be shown. Hopefully that can be seen. Like people can actually see what it looks like, basically.
Yeah, there's a little there, but you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, no. This is like it's the first like demo CD and the first I've made at all because I've never done any demo tracks before because I've never done something like this before. But oh, uh, pardon me. But yeah, no. While we're on the topic of that demo CD, let's talk about the new album that has that demo CD on it. Um, so the album I'm making currently is Blissful Crash. It's the second album I'm gonna release for under my alias Color Contradiction. Basically, it's one of I would consider it my magnum opus of my albums. Um, Basically, the album is themed around the mental state I felt while in school because I feel like school can affect a lot of people differently, either good or bad. And and while and during that, I try to search for something that can help me feel better. But I'm not really gonna spoil it too much. But yeah, no, that's what the story or the theme is basically. And the theme, there's actually that was the story I should say. But the theme I'm going for it's basically ambient music, nostalgia, and snow or snowfall. And yeah, it's a drastic change. It's like a completely different. It's a completely different album compared to Alert Roofs, which is more upbeat. This is more like it's a down tempo type album. Like I'm planning on releasing it probably like in 2027, but that could change. That could change either make it early or later. But yeah, I'm trying to make it the best I can. I'm trying to make it my best album I've made so far. Like I'm putting a lot more work into it. I'm this is the album where I'm starting to learn about like chord progressions on a piano because I've never done chord progressions at all on like I've never done like music theory. Because I don't know much about music theory, which is why I'm now learning how to do a music theory so my songs can actually sound good. So they actually sound like they can sound good basically. But I can tell you some of the songs that are going to release in the future, like I have like a set date because they're like going to be the singles of them. One of them is a cover of a Christmas song from like a long time ago, which will probably be the first single off that album, off my album. Spirit Train. No, wait, that's not. That's one of the tracks I should say. That's not gonna be a single. There's gonna be a song about my dad, like and such. Like another one, Pale White Trees. And another one is if I could scroll up here. It's called Relaxing. And I think another one I might release is Isolation, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think Isolation might be my personal favorites off the album right now. I'm not really going to get into too much detail about it, but some of the tracks that I listed are on that demo CD. If I remember, I didn't really look at it while I was showing it on camera, but yeah, no. I'm still working on the album, of course, but basically, yeah. This will be like the post graduation album I'm making, and it has a lot of inspirations that I have. Porter Robinson, the Avalanches, Aphex Twin, some dark ambient musicians, like musicians that make dark ambience or used to, and yeah, that that's about it for that album. I'm not really gonna get too like I'm not really gonna dabble it into it like too much, like reveal too much because I feel like that would be stupid. But God, my throat is weird. Yeah. So while we're on the topic of song demos, let's go to a demo for that was on the 10th anniversary of Daft Punk's Random Access Memories called "An Infinity of Repeating" by Daft Punk featuring Julia Casablancas and The Voids. So yeah, let's go to that. we're back. This is the final time. I know I said that last time, but nah, I lied. But yeah. So that's about it for this episode. I'm not sure. I usually don't really know what I might talk about next episode because I don't have really nothing else to like. If I remember correctly, I don't remember anything I might talk about currently. Right now, nothing on the list, but maybe in a few days I might. But we'll cross that bridge when we'll come to it. But yeah. So yeah, that's it for the music box, and we're gonna close it for today. So yeah. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode.